So, everyone in the audience, if I might once again have your attention, we will now begin with the, para sport shooting event of Denmark Open Air 2026, the SH2 event of the 10-meter air rifle. And as per usual, I will do the presentation of our athletes. And as, again, per usual, I expect all of you to be engaged and really show your appreciation of these wonderful athletes, especially when I am doing the introduction of them now. And they will all be coming from your right-hand side. So, let's get going. On firing position A, representing Norway, we have Vegard Sørli Krogsæter. And on firing point B, representing Norway, Martin Sørli Rone. And on firing point C, representing Denmark, Malte Jensen. And next to Malte on firing point D, representing Norway, Therese Løvhaug. And on firing point E, representing Iceland, Thor Thorhardsson. On firing point F, representing Denmark, Camilla Bol Nielsen. On firing point G, the last Dane of today's final, Johanne Gommesen Hansen. And on firing point H, representing Norway, Magnus Bastholm.
Take your positions.
And for those of you in the audience who is wondering what is currently going on, the athletes now have 5 minutes, I guess that must be about 4, it's close to it left, to set up their equipment, set up their position before we begin the 5 minutes of sighting and preparation as per usual with all the other finals.
5 minutes preparation and sighting time. Start.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome here at the finals hall, the second day of Denmark Open Air 2026. My name is Mikkel, and it is my absolute pleasure to take you all by the hand and follow you through today's final. So, as I mentioned before, what you will be seeing now is the SH2 final. And as you can see, it is one of the Olympic disciplines that we have here at Denmark Open Air. And if any of you have been watching some of the other finals, the only real difference between this final format and the other final formats is the time. So what is happening now is that our athletes here are shooting their sighting shots. They are slowly adjusting their equipment to shoot as close to the middle as absolutely possible. They're finding their position, doing the last detailed changes to everything to make it fit completely perfectly, and in order to get the best possible way into today's final. And when they're done with that, in about 3.5 minutes, they will transition into the actual competition in our final. And they will start with 2 5-shot series. And those series will both be shot within a time of 2 minutes, 30 seconds for each series. So that's the one difference, because in all the other finals, they had 4 minutes and 10 seconds. But here, it's 2 minutes and 30. And then, again, as per usual, they will transition into the elimination phase of the final, where they start shooting single shots. And again, the difference here is that they will shoot every single shot within a time of 30 seconds, whereas in all the other finals, it is 50 seconds. But other than that, it all remains the same. After 12 shots, we will eliminate our lowest ranking athlete, which is, in that case, after 12 shots, it will be our 8th ranking athlete. After 14, it will be number 7, 16, it will be number 6, and so on and so forth, until we have our bronze medalist after 22 shots and our gold and silver medalist after 24 shots. And, ladies and gentlemen, as well, almost dictated by tradition by now, it is my duty to ask all of you in the audience to support all these athletes and show some appreciation for the wonderful work they're doing, for the dedication to precision and to hard work that they are all showing here. So let's start by collectively applauding all of our athletes. And I think something or someone on the range who are also worth mentioning and who are also deserving of an applause for their dedicated work are the helpers attached to all athletes. So please give them all a great round of applause. And now there's only left to say, because as I can see, there are 4 Norwegians in the, oh no, let me see. Yes, 4 Norwegians in the final. So anyone supporting Norway? Great, I'm counting on you to carry the entire load of Norway. You have 4 people to support and you will do great, I know. Okay, so we have 3 Danes. So who's supporting Denmark? Great. See, this is what you have to fight against. So those are the odds that you're up against. You'll do great, I know. So, how about Iceland? Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, please show your appreciation and support of all these athletes. Every time they're doing great, every time they are performing amazingly, please show your appreciation and please make some noise.
30 seconds. Preparation and sighting time. Stop. For the first competition series, load. Start. Stop.
And after the first 5-shot series, we have in the lead with a fantastic score, 53.3, representing Denmark, Malte Jensen. And he is half a point ahead of the Norwegian Martin Sørli Rode in second position, who is a further 0.2 of a point ahead of his compatriot of Norway in third position, Magnus Bastholm. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is still early days, and all throughout the final, the margin between each position is small, no more than half a point.
For the next competition series, load. Start. Stop.
And after the second 5-shot series, Malte Jensen of Denmark is still in first position. And the difference between him and Magnus Bestholm in second position is still half a point. However, ladies and gentlemen, we now move into the elimination phase of today's final, and currently in danger of elimination after the next two single shot, we have the Icelandic 8th positioned Thor Thoraldsson. He is 2 points behind the Norwegian Therese Løvhaug in 7th position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And at the bottom of the table, Thor Thoraldsson is fighting back with a great 10.6. However, this is an incredibly tough crowd to compete with, so the difference between him and 7th position is still 2 points before what might very well be the deciding shot.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 8th position, representing Iceland, Thor Thoraldsson. And now in danger of elimination after the next two single shots with a margin of 2.2 up to safety. In 7th position, representing Denmark, Johanne Gommesen Hansen. And at the other end of the table, we still have Malte Jensen in first position, who has decided to put it on cruise control and just shoot deep tens. So the difference between him and the second position Norwegian Magnus Bestholm is still half a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And still in 7th position before our 14th shot, we have representing Denmark, Johanne Gommesen Johansen. And the difference between her and the safety of 6th position is now 1.4.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 7th position, representing Denmark, Johanne Gommesen Johansen. Oh, Hansen. Sorry. And in 6th position and in danger of being eliminated after the next two single shots, but only with 0.6 of a point to make up until the 5th position, we have representing Norway, Vegard Sørli Krogsæter. And at the top of the scoreboard, we have a change. New man in front is the Norwegian Magnus Bestholm. And he is leading the Danish Malte Jensen in second position by 4/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And there is not much changed at the bottom of the scoreboard. The difference between Vegard Sørli Krogsæter of Norway in 6th position and the Danish Camilla Bol Nielsen in 5th position is 6/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Taking 6th position, representing Norway, Vegard Sørli Krogsæter. And now in 5th position and in the danger zone and possibly up for elimination after the next two single shots, we have from Denmark, Camilla Bol Nielsen. However, the difference between her and 4th position, which is currently inhabited by the Norwegian Therese Løvhaug, is only half a point. At the top of the table, we still have Magnus Bastholm of Norway in the lead. He has a total score of 168.4, and he is leading Malte Jensen in second position of Denmark with 6/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And after our 17th shot, Camilla Bol Nielsen of Denmark is still in 5th position. However, she is closing in on that 4th position. The difference between the two is now just 2/10 of a point. And worth mentioning, in this single shot, we have a 10.9 from the Norwegian Martin Sørli Rone.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And we have a shoot-off between the Dane Camilla Bol Nielsen and Therese Løvhaug, both with a total score of 187.7.
For the next commando, it's only firing point D and F. For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And a 10.1 was unfortunately not enough for the Norwegian Therese Luhauge. However, congratulations on 5th position. And again in danger of elimination after our next 2 single shots. In 4th position, representing Denmark, Camilla Bohl Nielsen. The difference between her and the medals is 1.2. And in the lead, we still have the Norwegian Magnus Bastholm. He is 0.4 of a point ahead of the Danish Malte Jensen in 2nd position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And with a brilliant 10.7 by the Danish Camilla Bohl Nielsen, the deficit that she has to make up to reach the podium is now just 0.8 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 4th position, representing Denmark, Camilla Bohl Nielsen. And now, dear audience, we are into the medals, and it could not be closer. In 3rd position, we have the Norwegian Martin Sørli Rone, and he is only 1/10 of a point behind the current inhabitor of the silver medal position, the Danish Malte Jensen, who is in turn only 4/10 of a point behind 1st position Norwegian Magnus Bastholm.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And with a 10.2 by Malte Jensen, he does put ever so slightly a bit of difference between himself and 3rd position Norwegian Martin Sørli Rone. However, 0.3 of a point is still not much. Anything can happen after this next single shot.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And our bronze medalist from Norway, Martin Sørli Rone. And now the fight is on between Denmark and Norway for the gold and silver. Currently in 1st position, we have representing Norway, Magnus Bastholm. However, the difference between him and 2nd position Malte Jensen of Denmark is just 0.7 of a point, which is absolutely surmountable within the next 2 single shots.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And after 23 shots, Magnus Bestholm of Norway slowly but surely increases his lead with a 10.5 against the 10.4. He now is leading the Danish Malte Jensen with 0.8 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And with the closest possible margins, only 1/10 of a point, we have our silver medalist representing Denmark with a beautiful 10.9, Malte Jensen! And our gold medalist representing Norway, Magnus Bestholm! So congratulations to all the medalists. And to you in the audience, first of all, thank you very much for your enthusiasm and your support for this final, and to all these wonderful athletes. And as a little service information, the medal ceremony will begin very shortly, both for this final and for the 10-meter air pistol veteran.